Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and yes, today we are looking at another comparison here between Commando Spawn from Spawn Series 2, 1995, and Dark Ages Spawn. And yes, I know that this guy on the box is called Commando Spawn, but this is Dark Ages Spawn. This is Commando Spawn. But for argument's sake, let's just say both of these are Commando Spawn, and thus let's compare them. So, how do these two stack up against each other? Again, if you want to check out a review for both of these guys, you can definitely do that. But we are going to be applying the 5A system of evaluating both of these guys and determining which one is, more worthwhile. So, if this is your first time checking out a video like this, when I say the 5As, I'm talking about in no particular order: aesthetic, articulation, accessories, addition, and action. Okay, so let's get the obvious one out of the way: articulation. This one. If you've seen my review of this guy, you would know that his articulation is not that good. So yeah, and then you compare that with modern technology, modern articulation. Yeah, this one obviously gets the edge. And then I feel like another easy one to get out of the way would be action. What I mean by that is play features. So this one doesn't have any play features. This one does. He has a missile that comes out of here. So it's a little missile that you can just, shoot out with push of this button. I don't have the missile in there, but yeah, you can take my word for it. But yeah, he can do that. So there you go. That's 1 point and 1 point. So now let's whittle this down a little bit more and talk about some other factors, such as, what should we do next? Let's do accessories. And I feel like the accessories are something that, again, I feel like the advantage would go to this guy, and I'll explain why. If you're not familiar with this particular figure, you might see this gun and you would think that, oh, he comes with that. That's really cool. Well, if you saw my review, you would know that he doesn't come with this. He comes with these two green necroplasm energy things, and I don't think it looks the best with this particular design where he's all like loaded up with weapons and all of that. So I think it would be better if he had some sort of a firearm. And so I got this from the accessory pack, the third accessory pack. This is one of the weapons that came in that, and I feel like it suits him really well. So you essentially, in order to give him a more of a Commando Spawn type look, you have to get something else to give him a weapon. Or you can just take a weapon from another figure that you already have. But regardless, if you just get him, you don't get any sort of firearm, which is definitely worth mentioning. But with this guy, you get a knife, and you get these two massive things. So you get this like shotgun type thing, and you get this like rocket launcher type thing. And both of them are really cool. So I would say that, yeah, in that respect, this one is technically more accurate because he actually comes with weapons. And even though they're extremely oversized and probably impractical and all of that, it suits the character of Spawn, and it actually makes sense for him to have something like that. So I'm going to give him the accessory thing. But then let's talk about the aesthetic, the look, the overall look with these guys. And I would say that both of them look good, but obviously we have to decide a winner here. So let's take a look at this guy here. And he does look accurate. Again, you can check out the review for this guy, which I do highly recommend because I'm a really big fan of this particular figure. However, I feel like this one is kind of generic. Not necessarily generic, but like, like it's black with a lot of red stripes and pouches and all of that. And it does definitely suit the soldier type look that he's trying to go for. And I do like the heads-up display there and the Spawn head underneath that. I think that's all really cool. But at first glance, this doesn't exactly look like Spawn. This looks like some ninja guy in black and red armor. Whereas with this one, you can actually tell that this is Spawn. And if we want to be technical here and say that, we want to go for a Commando Spawn look, okay, so you're saying a Spawn issue 7 type look, which I know that in this comic he does take off the cape and all of that, so that might be more accurate in that respect. But if you want to go for a look, specifically like this cover art, I would say that this one's definitely the way to go, even though he does have kind of like a scarf type thing. and there's no red on the sides and all of that. But I would say that, like, you know, if you want to go for a more of a, you know, tactical Spawn type look, definitely go with this one. And yes, I do know that they did make a tactical Spawn figure from the Call of Duty line that would be more accurate with that, but I don't have that one. Yeah, so regardless, that is what I would say. And so I would say it depends either way, but I'm going to give the point to this one. And that's being objective here. Subjective, this one is I actually like the look of this one more, but being fair here, this doesn't exactly look much like a Spawn figure. This one does. And so in that respect, I'm going to give him the point for the aesthetic. So then that means that there's 1 point left to decide. So this one has better articulation and aesthetic. This one is better accessories and action. So then the final deciding factor is addition. And what I mean by that is essentially, if you're deciding if I want to put a shelf together, which one should I get and it would look better? And I feel like there is some subjectivity with that of, well, what kind of shelf are you trying to make? Are you trying to make a shelf of just older figures? Obviously, this one's better. If you want to make a modern shelf, obviously that one's better. But I feel like it's more than just that. Let's just say that you're deciding, I want to have a shelf of Spawn figures, and I want to have some like armored up Spawn as part of it. Well, okay, let's see what these guys look like compared to some other people. So if we get this one here, and let's just say that we put him next to Soul Crusher, I feel like that actually works pretty well. I feel like those guys would work well together, and you could, you know, obviously fill it out with more than just that. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. He looks good, he looks in scale, he doesn't look too small or too big or anything like that. But then when we get to this guy here, if you don't know, basically McFarlane scale was kind of all over the place ever since the beginning. This guy's from Series 2, so basically the second ever Spawn series. And he looks fine on his own, obviously, but if you pair him up with somebody like, let's just say, Sam Burke from Spawn Series 7, I think that he actually looks pretty good. He's a little bit bigger than Sam, but not by too much. And so I feel like if you have him, you know, with that, that looks pretty good. But then let's pull out something like She-Spawn from Series 4. And she is significantly taller than him. And it looks kind of weird that, like, you know, her proportions are a lot different than this guy, and obviously it's a female figure, but the fact that she's, like, pretty much, you know, pretty taller than him, you know what I mean? But, like, there's a different scale going on there, and that was kind of the case with a lot of these figures. The scale was kind of all over the place, because it started at, like, a general 5-inch line, and then they kind of made it up to 6-inch line, but only for some of them. It was really weird. And, yeah, so I would say that if you're going to get the older one, if you really want him to look good, you're going to have to be more careful with, like, you know, what are you going to pair him with? You know, like, which figures? Is it just the figures from Series 1 and Series 2? He'd probably look good if you pair him with, you know, some of the newer figures. Well, newer, I say, like, you know, from, like, Series 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, something like that. Then that might not look so good. Unless you have Sam and Twitch from Series 7. I feel like they were actually in scale with the older figures, but regardless. So I feel like because the scale is kind of all over the place with the older ones, I'm going to give the addition point to the newer one. And so that means that by this verdict, I would say that this one is better. It does have more value, but I feel like there is kind of an asterisk there, where if you do want to get this one, you want to give him, you know, firearms, you have to get something more than just this one figure. You're going to have to get some sort of munitions pack or a figure that has, like, a whole bunch of guns or something like that. So basically, like, if you want to give him, you know, weapons, you're going to have to get those from somewhere else. Whereas with this one, you get them already, and I think that they look pretty cool. And there definitely is some charm with the older figure. I mean, this is actually my favorite out of the classic Spawn figures that I have. And yeah, even though I can acknowledge that this one's better, I'd think that I still personally prefer this one. But I would say that for looking at this more objectively, I feel like this one is the better one, just provided you actually give him some weapons. But that's what I say. Now, what do you think? So, if you agree with this verdict, you like this type of comparison, whatever it might be, do be sure to leave a like. You can let me know in the comments what you think of, you can say I prefer this one or I prefer this one, and, here are my reasons why, or, whatever it might be. And if you want, you can also subscribe. You can stay tuned for more content like this. I do have some other comparisons in mind that I think I could do. But other than all of that, I do hope that you enjoyed. I do hope that I'll see you all later.